Hello folks, unusual request today to show people how to tie a Wolly Bugger. Wolly Bugger is very widely used in many situations, in many colors. It can come beadhead, it can different sizes. You can use it in the lakes, you can use them in the rivers, you can use them in the ocean. So they're one of the 12 primary patterns. So we're using a T-Rex vise today. It's fully rotating. Nice vise, we just got them in, and I'm really liking it. The hook I'm using is a straight-eyed salmon hook number 6. Now these vices are particularly nice because I can lock it in, and my vise jaws don't allow that hook to move down when I'm pulling the thread. The thread I'm using is a black Danville wax thread. And the first thing I'm going to do is just put some thread on the hook. You always want to, patterns like this, you always want to make sure you get lots of thread on the hook. You lay a nice base down for your materials. Otherwise, if you don't do that, like a lot of these cheap flies from Taiwan and areas like that, the materials spin because there's nothing on the shank, and you don't want that. So we're going to use Black Marabou. Now I've picked a piece of Black Marabou that's got pretty crappy fibers for most things, but perfect for a Wolly Bugger. You can strip off one side and use all the materials from there, or you can use the entire feather, like so. And you want it to be about the length of your hook, no longer than that. There we are. Put that in. Soft wrap, soft wrap, soft wrap, and then pull. Remember, this is thread. It's not rope. There, nice little tail. Now, I'm going to just figure out how much I can leave on. There we are. And I'm going to take my thread and start bringing it forward. And I'm just going to leave some of those fibers on the body. There we are. You can see that. And again, in fact, you could even use that for your Wolly Bugger. Now, next I'm going to put on is my Hackle feather. And the Hackle feather is quite neat in the sense that this is how it looks. I'm going to open up fibers like so. There we are. And I'm going to tie this one in from the tip. Most often I'll use the stem, but I'll tie this one in from the tip. And I'll bring my thread back, collapse those fibers a little tiny bit, so you can see. Oh, I see. I forgot something. I forgot some Flashaboo, or a Krystal flash. Usually I'll put Krystal flash, a couple strands on each side. So, I'll put a couple on this side. You can double it up if you want. Depends what you're fishing. Depends on where you're fishing. Lock them down. Pull back, lock them down. A couple on this side. One there. There. My first steelhead that I ever caught on Vancouver Island was a black Wolly Bugger with a couple of red hackles on it, on the side. This size, it was this size. Now I'm going to lay in and lock in my hackles. There we are. And again, you see how I'm leaving that on? It doesn't matter much, because it's going to be covered with my chenille. I'm using a chenille with a little bit of sparkle in it. And again, I want my body to be significant, so I'm going to bring my thread to the front, lay the chenille down on the hook back to the lock-in place and point, and bring my thread back to the front. Then I'm going to wrap my chenille. I want my body to be same size all the way along. Don't jam your eye. You don't have to jam your eye. There you go. That's a very common mistake by most people that start tying flies, is to jam the eye. So you always keep it back. There. So now I'm going to just double lock that in. I'm using a wax thread because it's a little stronger, and now I will start palmering. This is what we call palmering. We don't lay it on top of each other, we just move it forward a little bit. And always bring your hackles back, like so. There you go. Back. What can really help you is if you strip one side, you don't have all that matting going on. And there is my Wolly Bugger. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now for all you folks that can whip finish with your fingers, do so. Quarter hitch, whip finish like so, if you wish, or use your whip finisher. Done. A little bit of super glue. In this case, I'm going to use Gulff's SuperGlue, which I really like. And when you're using super glue, your best option is to bring your thread around and up and let your super glue run down. There we are. And let it run down. You don't need much. And again, quick little whip finish. Once you're done, cut your thread and go fishing.